Namaste students, we are in the fourth chapter, planning. You have already seen in the last session that what do you mean by planning. Planning is nothing but it bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to reach in the coming future. And we have also seen what are the different kinds of characteristics of planning and why planning is important or why it is essential in the organization, or else what kind of benefits we get from the planning. When we get some of the benefits, there will also be some of the negative points. In any aspects or any concept, when we get some of the positive points, there also are some of the negative points. So these are the limitations of planning. Planning concept, it has some of the limitations. Now we'll see one by one. In that first one, planning leads to rigidity. What do you mean by rigidity? Rigidity is which is not flexible. Flexible means which we can change according to our circumstances or conditions. We can modify or we can change. What is rigidity? Then rigidity is which we are unable to change. We cannot change it. Rigid means it is fixed to that. So planning leads to rigidity. When we invest so much of money and effort in any of the planning. For example, when we plan, we invest so much of money and effort into it. But we know that planning is nothing but it prepared for the coming future. And we don't know what kind of circumstances we are going to face. But if any of the unwanted circumstances if we are facing means, we need to change. But we are unable to change because it is one of the feature of the planning that it is fixed to that. And it is difficult to change. Usually when manager plans, his plan should be in such a way when some unwanted circumstances or conditions arises in front of him, it should be able to modify. But here it is one of the limitations of the planning that it is rigid, which is not flexible or which is not modified to change. Because we invest so much of money and effort into it, if we want to change also it is very difficult process. Once again we need to go back and we need to revise the whole process of planning. So it is not flexible, it is rigid or it is fixed. Once if we plan it is fixed, but it shouldn't be in that way. It should be in a way that it should be able to modify according to the circumstances. Now next one. Planning may not work in a dynamic conditions. What is the dynamic conditions? Dynamic conditions are nothing but which will be keeps on changing. Dynamic is nothing but which will be keeps on changing. So we know that we are living in the world or we are living in the circumstances which will be keeps on changing. It might be the taste and preferences of the consumers, or it might be the habits of the consumer, or it might be the demand of particular product, or it might be the prices of particular product. Everything will be keeps on changing. So planning, what we plan, that may not work in a dynamic condition. We plan in the past. We plan in the past by making some assumptions in the future. We plan in the past. But in this dynamic condition, it may not work effectively how we plan. How we plan, it may not work effectively in the dynamic conditions. For example, the present condition. We are in the situation of COVID-19. Whatever we planned, it didn't work because of this particular situation. So if this kind of situation if you are facing means, our planning will not work. Whatever we plan, that will not work in such kind of conditions. Now, third one, planning reduces the creativity. Planning reduces the creativity. It is with respect to middle level and supervisory level, which we call it as lower level. We won't call it as lower level, we call it as supervisory level or operational level. It reduces this planning process, it reduces the creativity of middle level and supervisory level employees. Why? Because we know that this whole planning concept is drawn by the top level management. Planning concept is drawn by the top level management. When top level management draws plan for entire organization, I am not saying they are not involving, they may not involve in case of departmental or some other kind of planning. But overall plan will be done by the top level management. And there will be the creativity of the top level employees. So middle level and supervision level employees' creativity will not be involved in case of drawing the plan. Sometimes these middle level and supervisory level employees, they might be having some innovative ideas, or their creativity might be good more than top level employees. So in such cases, when their creativity or when their ideas are not involved in case of planning, or they are not given chance to take part in the process of planning, whatever creativity they have, it will go waste. Whatever creativity they have, it will go waste, or it reduces the level of creativity of middle level and lower level employees. Then coming to next one, planning involves huge cost. We know that it is a huge process, so we need to invest more. So we need to invest more, even with time or even with the effort and also with the cost. It requires huge cost, but it is difficult to cope up for a small or middle industry. It is difficult for cope up a small kind of industries when we need to involve huge cost, because we don't know whether we get desired result or not. If it is a big organization, it's okay, they can cope up if they do not get what they expected. But for a small organization, it is difficult. When they invest huge, they need to get their desired result. Otherwise, it is difficult to cope up for small organization. The next one, planning is a time consuming process. Yes, we cannot draw plan in a one day or in a 1 hour. We cannot draw any kind of plan. It's a time consuming process. We require some time, because we need to analyze future conditions. What kind of circumstances may arise? If it arises, what kind of plan we need to make? What we need to analyze our organization also. We need to analyze our external environment also. So it requires lot of time. So it's a time consuming process. Even this also, it is difficult for the small organization. If it's a huge organization, it's okay, they can cope up with that. Then the last one, planning does not guarantee success. That we know, we cannot guarantee anything, because ultimately it's about the future. We cannot guarantee anything. So planning cannot guarantee success, since we are working in a dynamic conditions. Since we are working in a dynamic conditions, we cannot guarantee any kind of success for what plan we have drawn for our organization. We cannot accept that we get 100% accuracy. We get 100% accuracy in our planning, or we get 100% success. We may get success. We cannot say it's 100% success. We may not get success. So it is not we will not get success, not like that. We may not get success when we work in a dynamic conditions. As I said, we are in a, now at present we are in a condition of COVID-19. So whatever we have planned, our plans did not work. Whatever we had planned, our plans did not work. So we may not guarantee success over there. So these are the limitations of the planning. First one, planning leads to rigidity, which is not flexible to change. When we invest so much of money and effort, it is difficult to change. So it's in a nature of, it's a rigid nature. Then planning may not work in a dynamic conditions, as I said, which will be keeps on changing. So it is bit difficult to work in a dynamic conditions. Planning reduces the creativity of middle level and operational level employees, since the whole planning process drawn by the top management, they will not be given part, or they will not be, the middle level and supervision level employees are not given chance to take part in the planning process. Planning involves a huge cost. We invest so much of money in that. So small organization may find it difficult to cope up if they do not get desired result. Planning is a time consuming process. It requires a lot of time in order to draw particular plan. And at last, we cannot guarantee success for our plan. Whatever we plan, we cannot guarantee success, since we live in a dynamic conditions. This is about limitations. We'll move to the process or steps of planning. Now we'll see what are the steps involved in the process of plan. How a particular plan will be drawn. In that, first one, setting objectives. Objectives are nothing but goals or targets of the organization. As I said, objectives are where we want to reach in the future. That we call it as objectives. Firstly, we need to set an objective for the organization as a whole, or we may set objective as an organization as a whole, one objective for whole organization. Then we may also set up objective for a different departments. As we know, there are different departments are there in the organization. It might be production department or HR department, finance department, marketing department. So we may set objective for a department wise objective also we may set, or else we may set objective as a whole. One objective as a whole will be there, then we go for the departmental objective, setting of departmental objective. So objectives are the nothing but where we want to reach in the future, what we need to achieve in the future. For example, we may set objective of in a coming year we need to achieve this percentage of sales. This percentage of sales should be increased, or this percentage of profit should be increased in by the end of this year. That might be the objective for that particular year. Next is developing premises. Premises are nothing but the assumptions. How we need to set the plan? We set the objective. We set the objective there. Now, when we set the objective, after setting the objective, we need to analyze the future or forecasting the future business conditions. That is nothing but what may come in the future, what kind of situation we may face in the future. That we call it as premises. Planning premises are nothing but the assumption, realistic assumptions we made for the future. We may assume that this kind of situation may come in the future. That we call it as planning premises. Planning premises are nothing but assumptions which we make for the future. Assumptions which we make for the future in order to achieve the objectives. That we call it as planning premises. So we need to develop such kind of assumption. We need to develop means we need to focus the future. While developing, we have to see some of the past record. What kind of circumstances we faced in the past, what we faced in the near past, or what kind of circumstances may arise in the future. If we analyze past, we may get some kind of ideas what we may get in the future, what kind of circumstances we may get in the future. So we need to develop such kind of premises are nothing but assumptions we need to develop there. If we develop some of the assumptions, we can be ready in order to face such kind of situations. So in the second stage, we develop the premises or assumptions. And the third one, identifying alternative course of action. Now, course of actions are nothing but the execution of the plan or objectives. We set the objective here. Now, which are the different ways of executing that objective, or which are the different way to reach that objective? That we call it as course of actions. Course of actions are nothing but the different ways of reaching the objectives, or different ways of reaching our goals or target. So we need to identify which are the different ways. How many ways are there in order to reach that goal? We know that for one objective there will not be only one way. There will be variety of ways, or there will be variety of course of actions in order to achieve that objective. Firstly, we need to identify which are the different routes, or which are the different way to achieve that. Then evaluating alternative course of action. We got there some of the ways to achieve that particular objective or course of actions in order to achieve that objective. But now in this stage, we need to evaluate it. We need to analyze each and every ways. What are the merits and demerits of this particular course of action, or what are the merits and demerits of this particular course of action? What are the merits and demerits of other particular course of actions? When we have variety of course of actions in front of us, we need to analyze each and every course of actions in order to get to know where I can get more positive effect or where I can get more negative aspects. After analyzing each and every course of actions, selecting an alternative. From that variety of course of action, one alternative I need to select, from which alternative I can get more positive effect. where I will get less negative and more positive effect. Such kind of course of action I need to select. That is nothing but selecting an alternative where variety of alternatives will be in front of me. I will choose one. This we also call as decision making. Here we'll make the decision by selecting one course of action out of number of course of actions. Next one, implementing the plan. What alternative or what way we chosen in this particular stage that we are going to implement. Here in this stage we will implement our plan. We start executing our plan in the 6th stage. What is the way? Here we selected the way. In this way we need to go, then we can achieve the objective. So we are starting the plan or implementing or executing the plan. Then last one there, that is follow-up actions. Follow-up actions mean when we implement the plan, after implementing we will get the result. So follow-up means we need to see what we had planned here, what is our objective, and we also know what is the way or what is the route to move towards that objective. Now in the stage of follow-up we need to see whether we are moving towards the objective, whether what alternative we have chosen, whether it is working, whether it is effective alternative, whether it is taking us towards the objective or not. If it is taking towards the objective, okay, whatever alternative we have chosen, it is correct. We need to move further in that alternative. But if it is not working, if we get to know in the stage of follow-up what alternative we have chosen, what we implemented here, it is not working according to our expectation, then we need to do some of the necessary follow-up action we need to do. Some of the measures we need to take in order to improve or in order to modify our plan or in order to modify our alternative. So altogether there 7 stages are there while drawing the plans. First one, we need to set the objective or the goal, where objectives are nothing but where we want to reach in the future. Next one, we need to develop the assumptions. We need to develop the future assumptions, what kind of circumstances we will get. After that, we need to find out different ways of doing that particular or reaching that particular objective, that we call it as course of actions are nothing but the ways of execution of the plan. Then we need to evaluate each course of actions there. What are the merits and demerits, or what are the positive and negative aspects of each course of action. Then we need to select one course of action in order to reach our target, which we will find that it is the best course of action for my organization or to reach my objective. We need to select that. Then here in this stage we have to execute that course of actions. Then at the last stage, follow what we executed, whether it is working according to our plan or not. If it is working, yes, we need to move in that way. If it is not working, we need to take some of the actions in order to improve our plan, or if necessary, we need to modify our plan after the follow-up session. So here we done with the process or the different stages of plan. Now there is one last topic, that is which are the different kinds of plan. We'll see the different kinds of plan. Now we'll see the different kinds of plans. We know that we are studying the chapter that is plan. There are different variety of plans are exist. So in that mainly we divide the plans into two categories, that is single use plans and standing plans. Now what is that single use? Single use plans are nothing but one-time planning, which we plan for only one particular event. These are the plans which are used for the event which will be in a non-repetitive nature. These are the plans which we use for the event which will be non-repetitive in a nature, means one-time planning for one particular event. For example, in case of organization, we can take it as budgets. Budget is we can consider under single use plan. Budget for one program, for that program we set the budget. If that program gets over, or if we reach or if we complete that project, then we set one more program or one more project, and we set another budget for that. So that we call, in case of organization, budget we can consider as single use plan. Single use plants are these plants which we use it for the event, which will not be in a repetitive nature or which will not occur frequently. Then standing plants. Standing plants are those plants which we used for the event, which will be in the repetitive nature. In case of organization, as an example, we can take it as the policies or procedures. We can take under standing plan. Why we can take policies and procedures under standing plan? Policies and procedures of the organization, it never changes, because policies and procedures of the organization, it will stick to that organization, which will be repeatedly we use. For whatever may be the project or whatever may be the objective, we use that policies. Every now and then we use that policies. For example, if you take institution, here there are some policies or procedures. That policies and procedures, it will not change. Whatever may be the our project may change every year. We may use many projects, but same policies we use it again and again. Policies and procedures we can take under standing plans. Standing plans are those plans which will occur or which we use for the event, which will be in the repetitive nature. Now in an organization we conduct many kinds of projects, but we use these policies and procedures again and again for that project. So policies and procedures is an example for standing plan. Budget is an example for single use plan. Now other than these two kinds of plans, there are some other kinds of plan. There are some other kinds of plan. We'll go through one by one. In that, first one comes objective. Objective also we call it as it's one kind of plan. Objective also it's a kind of plan which the organization want to achieve through its organization. Objectives are also the plan which organization want to achieve through its operations. Objectives are nothing but target which organization want to achieve through its operation. For example, now you want to score 95% in the second PU board exam. You people want to score 95%. That is your objective. Now when it comes to strategy, what is strategy? A comprehensive plan in order to achieve the target. What target you have set here? You set your target as I want to score 95% in the board exam. So in order to reach that plan, you have to use some strategy or the course of actions. What actions you will take in order to achieve, or what strategy you will use in order to achieve. A comprehensive plan. One more plan in order to reach this target. It's a comprehensive plan in order to achieve the target. You may use here strategy like you divide the 12 hours in a day, like a 6 subject you will divide. 2 hours I will read this subject and another 2 hours I will read this subject. 1 hour I will read this subject, another hour you will read this subject. So that is your strategy. That is your strategy in order to score 95%. So strategy is a comprehensive plan in order to achieve the target. For example, now you will see some of the advertisement in the TVs. The most of the time the chocolates, biscuit advertisement, it will come the time period that 7:30 to 9. Why it comes during 7:30 to 9? Because they will be knowing children are watching TV. Children will be watching TV during that particular time. So they provide such kind of advertisement in that time period. So that is their strategy. That is their strategy to increase the sales. That is their strategy to increase the sales or to gain the market. Now we'll move to next one, that is policies. Policies also we consider that this is a kind of plan. Are the general statement which acts as a guide to take decisions. Policies are, it's like a statement or it's like a guide in order to refer. If you are doing something or if you are making any plan, these are like the set of guidelines which we refer. Within that framework we need to plan. Within that framework it says our boundaries. You have to work in this framework itself. So these are the policies of our organization. See, some organization it says that whatever happens also we never compromise with the quality. We never compromise with the quality. That is the policy of that particular organization or company. We can take it as Tata. Tata Group of Industries. They never compromise with the quality of any of the products. So that is their policy of that particular organization, which will not change, which will be stick, which will not be changed, which will be stick. We need to refer that. In order to conduct any project or any plan if you are doing, we have to do within that policy framework itself. There will be many kinds of policies exist in the organization. It might be the pricing policy, or it might be the purchasing policy, or recruitment policy. See, recruitment policy, if we take, they see we want this kind of employees only, because this is our policy of this particular organization. Or pricing policy, we whatever happens also what our pricing policy says, according to that we fix the price. So policy means policies are the framework, or these are the guide to refer in order to make any actions. Procedures are the systematic way of doing the work. Procedures are nothing but which describe the time sequence of the work to be done, or these are the steps to be followed. The procedures are nothing but the time sequence. As we have seen, when we have seen the procedures of planning process, the steps are to be followed in the process of planning. When we see that steps, we can make out that how long this particular process will take. It defines the time sequence of that particular work, which defines the time sequence of that particular work. So procedures are nothing but which decides the time sequence of the work, or these are nothing but the stages or steps to be followed in order to complete any task. So that we call it as the procedures. Now for example, if we take, in order to get admission in any of the particular college, what are the procedures to get admission in that particular college? The procedure of that particular college in order to get the admissions. What are the procedure? What stages will be there? Firstly, you have to go to that college and you have to register there. When you register, you will get a booklet. You can refer that. What kind of policies are there? What kind of procedures are there? After getting the registration, they will call for the interview. Then you have to go to interview, and if you get selected, you will get a admission. Then there further some other procedures will there. When you have to submit your marks card, when you have to submit your transfer certificate, and what is the procedure to get your textbook or notebook. So there are many procedures are there when you get admitted into a particular college. So these are the different steps or procedures to be followed. Then methods, what are the prescribed way or manner of following that procedure or doing any of the steps. As I said, there is a different steps in order to enter a particular college. You have, first step is you have to get registered. Registration, that is one of the steps we have. But in this case, the step registration, how to get registered. You have to come to the office. There you will get a slip. You have to fill that slip and you have to pay certain fees, and you will get registered. That is the way of doing that step. It prescribes how many steps are there. What are the different steps, or what is the time sequence, and it prescribes how to execute that each step. What is the method or the manner or the systematic way of completion of each steps. So procedures are nothing but which defines the time sequence. These are the steps to be followed. These are the manner or way of doing that steps or doing the work. Now rules are nothing but code of conduct, or these are the code of behaviors which you need to follow when you will be in that particular organization. It might be you have to wear ID and enter the organization, or it might be there may be the board of no smoking. You have to come in that way, and you need to wear a formal dress to the office. Only Saturdays are allowed to wear a t-shirt. So that such kind of things we call it as rule. When you will be in an institution, there will be certain rules will be there. You need to use this kind of belts only. You need to wear this kinds of shoes only. The color of shoes should be black only, or sandals color should be black only. Your haircut should be proper. So those are the rules which you need to be follow when you will be in that particular place, organization, or it might be an institution. When you will be in institution, you need to follow the rules which they already set. Then programs. What is programs? Programs are nothing but objectives, policies, methods, budget. Combined, we call it as programs. When we combine the organization, the objectives, their policies, their methods and their budget. A combination of this we call it as a, then we can call it as a, this is a program in order to reach this plan. This is the program, or the program should be like that. By the end of this month we need to reach the sales of 20,000 units. By the end of this month we need to reach the sales of 20,000 units. That is a program. That program includes the objectives. Objective is 20,000 units. Objectives, it includes objectives and it includes the policies, it includes the procedures, everything it includes. So that we call it as programs. Then the last one, budget. Budget is the expected result which we expect in the future that we present in the numerical terms. The budget is the expected result which we expect in the future that we present in the numerical terms. It might be the budget for the purchase budget, or it might be the sales budget. What is our budget for the end of this month? And we also say that it shouldn't cross this particular limit. It shouldn't cross 50 lakh or 5 lakh. It shouldn't cross the limit of 5 lakh. So what is that shouldn't cross the limit of 5 lakh? That is the budget. You shouldn't cross the limit of 5 lakh and you need to reach the sales. Within this limit you have to reach this. That is the budget. Within this limit you have to reach the target. So here we completed with the kinds of planning. So as I said, there mainly the plans are divided into two categories, that is single use plans and standing plans. Single use plans are plans which we use for the one particular event which will not occur every now and then. That for example we can give as budgets. And standing plans are those plans which we use for the event which will be in the repetitive nature. For example, organization example, if we take policies or procedures. Then some other plans, in addition to these two plans, there are some other plans, that is objectives. Objective is which the organization want to reach through its operation in the future, where it want to reach by doing some of the activities. Strategies are comprehensive plan in order to achieve the target. Strategies are comprehensive plan or the course of actions which we follow in order to reach the objectives. Then policies. Policies are like, it's a set of guidelines. It's a statement like a guidelines. Within that framework you need to act, or you need to plan, or you need to set your objective. That we call it as the policies which are stick to that organization. Then procedures are different steps to be followed in order to achieve that particular goal. What are the steps and what is the time duration required to complete the task. And methods, it is a prescribed man or the systematic way of doing that each steps. Systematic way of doing the work that we call methods. Rules are the code of conduct or disciplinary actions which we need to do or which we shouldn't do in the organization. The do's are and don'ts of that organization. The actions are non-actions of the organization, means which you have to do in that organization, which you shouldn't do in the organization. Programs are the combination of objectives, policies, methods, budget. Altogether we call it as a program for that particular year, or it might be for a month. And the last one, budget, is the expected result which we express in terms of money, which we express in terms of in a quantitative terms or a numerical terms. We express our future result. We set a limitation like it shouldn't cross the limit of 5 lakh. Within that I have to reach, you have to reach this target. So that is our budget for that particular project. So with this concept we conclude the chapter, that is planning. Here we end with the planning chapter. Now in this particular chapter, firstly we have seen what do you mean by planning. Planning is nothing but it bridges a gap between where we are, where we want to reach. What is to be done, who is to be done, how is to be done. So deciding in advance what is to be done, how is to be done, who is to be done, that is planning. Then we have seen different kinds of features of planning. After that we have seen which are the benefits or the essentials or the importance of planning. There are set of importance. Why we need to plan in the organization, what benefit we get. After that, we have seen in today's session that is different. If we get some benefit, there will be some of the negative aspects that we call it as limitations. We have seen limitations of the planning. After seeing the limitations, we have seen the procedure or steps or the process of planning, which are the different process or which are the different steps to construct a particular plan. Then we have seen here types of plan. This is the last concept in this particular chapter. Thank you. We'll move towards the next chapter.